Yep, Don to Don is definitely a W. Well, all right, chat, let's do this. So we're going to talk about Victor Wembanyama, and we'll take a look at what Coach Mitch Johnson has to say. I think those would be two good ones. So, yeah, I guess let's start with Vic. Let's start with Vic. And then we'll talk about today's sponsor, BetUS. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this segment. And then we'll take a look at Mitch Johnson. Let's see here.
Hey, Vic, can you take us through the close of the fourth quarter and overtime, just kind of what y'all were thinking and how y'all were able to execute down the stretch?
I mean, we were thinking defense, and just it just felt like we had to take things like right now and get a little pissed and just go.
I was not well, I'm glad we started with Wemby. Everyone could see it. Wasn't expecting him to say it. Everyone could see that he played more pissed off. Wasn't expecting him to say it. Wemby got that dog in him. Wemby indeed has that dog in him. My camera just shuttered. Even my camera's like, what? All right. Play that back.
Get a little pissed and it's
One more
like
time.
right now and get a little pissed and
One more
just,
time.
get a little pissed and just go.
Two more times.
Get a little pissed and just get a little pissed.
All right, that's enough. I'm sorry. I know you're annoyed. I'm sorry.
Just just go make big time plays when we needed to.
There was a moment where
That's Carolina Teague. Shout out to Carolina Teague. She was in the chat the other night.
Hunter dunks on you and then there's an intense stare down.
Oh, she just brought it up right off the bat. Carolina. Right off the bat. Let them process it first.
Some words are exchanged, you get a double tag. It's on you and
All right,
then there's
all right.
an intense stare down. Some words are exchanged, you get a double tag. But it seemed like after that you turned up a lot. And was that particular moment a turning point? What was that the catalyst for you to have more energy?
For sure helped. It for sure helped. It's it for sure helped us getting that move. We don't forget.
I apologize if it's already been asked, but just having the full lineup back.
It's like I don't really recall. It doesn't happen that often. I guess. I don't know. I don't really recall something because this happens sometimes, right? Like we've seen players on our team get dunked on, and then we'll look at the press conferences. And I'm talking years ago. And we'll look at the press conferences, and it's first off, it's not really brought up that often. But second, for him to just be this honest about it. Listen how he said that. You can tell he wants more of the smoke.
It for sure helped us get. It for sure helped. For sure helped. It for sure helped. It's it for sure helped us getting that move. We don't forget.
I
We
apologize.
don't forget. We just walked him down. We got to do what we got to do. Just had to walk him down.
If it's already been asked, but just having the full lineup back that you guys envisioned at the start of the season, is that a good feeling? And what do you think about it going forward?
That is the best feeling before the game. It felt like a big relief. Really, I think we were really happy because even before the game, I think some of my teammates were still questionable. So we were like, is it the day finally? But yeah, it's great to see everybody like that, and because we know everybody is gonna get their chance, and there's no selfish player here. So we're gonna have a lot of fun together.
You hear that? You hear that, chat? You hear that? There's no selfish player here. Okay? You remember who was called selfish last season? You heard it from Wemby. If you think Wemby is lying, then, I mean, I guess that's on you. He's very honest, as we can see.
On the shot clock before you passed that ball up the backboard to yourself.
Sorry?
Was your eye on the shot clock? Did you know how much time was left?
I don't know how much time was left.
It was like down the wire.
Oh, okay.
2 seconds left.
Okay. Okay. Well.
He's like, I don't know. I just want to show out. I didn't care. I didn't care if it was 17 on the clock. I don't care. I just wanted to show out. Dang, he didn't even know. I feel like players. You play this game. I mean, this is thousands upon thousands of hours of drills playing the game. It's kind of subconscious at that point as far as how much time is on the clock, right? I think it's just like a vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like if you cook something, right? And he was definitely cooking tonight. But it's like if you're cooking something. If you cook something so many times, you can kind of have a vibe for when it's ready, right? It's like, it's coming about that time. You probably don't even need a timer after a while. You just kind of know, you know? You guys know what I mean. I don't think that's a crazy thing to think. It's just a vibe. He's done it for so long.
Did you say anything to Julian about accidentally dunking on him?
I saw him go up for the rebound, yeah.
So Julian gets to be on your poster then.
It happens. Yeah.
You used the term a lot last year, but freelancing, that was just another example of that for you today.
Yeah. Just sometimes you just feel it, you know.
After what this team went through last year, have a lot of these games, close ones, go against you. What was it like to kind of get one of them to fall your way, especially first overtime game of this year?
Yeah. I mean, it feels great. This game actually reminded me a lot of the game against Atlanta last year here, but the way we closed it out was totally different. We still made mistakes,
What?
you know, but
Guys, what was it? Can someone explain something to me? And the chat doesn't know. Whenever this video is uploaded, the comment section can let me know. What was different about this game than other games? Did it really come down to the fact that all of our players were here? Because I don't necessarily think the Spurs have an issue, or Spurs fans have an issue with Atlanta Hawks, but it seemed like this game in particular had a lot of fans there. And I didn't, maybe this is just silly on my part. I wasn't super aware that the average fan or the average person that just goes down and watches games really think about future picks and, you know, the implications of the Atlanta Hawks losing right now. Like, I don't think it's really talked about that much, at least in the bigger scheme of things. So greater scheme of things. So I was wondering that. It seemed like the energy was so much different today. And did it really come down to just the fact that people were healthy? Because, I mean, most people would have already had their tickets, right? So it may have something to do with DJ leaving. See, last season I understood where the energy was coming from because DJ was in Atlanta. And there was trash that was talked from DeJounte before about the Spurs. So I understood the energy there. What is it about this year that has so many people hype? It felt like a playoff game. In the cup game, I understood, you know, there being some energy, but why this game? We wanted to see 2 first picks. Okay, maybe the average fan was I just think most average fans don't. Like, you guys are crazy, okay? The fact that you watch the game and then you jump on this live stream, you're crazy. You're crazy like me, right? There's sections of Spurs fans here. I feel like a lot of people that go to the games are just kind of casual, just, you know, I'm off work. Well, I guess nobody was really off work, but like, you know, you think it's because the Christmas is coming up, so they wanted to spend some more time with their family? I don't know, man. People on holidays. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, because I was like, why is it this hype?
we have a more experience. We've been through these losses, these crunch time losses. So
By the way, Zachary Ricochet struggled tonight. I told you guys, I think he's going to be a fine player, but I did not want Ricochet. And a lot of people were angry about that during the draft. I'm just not a fan of his.
yeah, I mean, I think it was.
Tickets were cheap, maybe? Oh, maybe.
I think we're doing things the right way because we're getting better.
Oh, okay. I think the tickets were cheaper than usual due to discounts for local veterans here in San Antonio. Okay, maybe that's what it was, because I just thought the energy was way different tonight.
Brought up how like you guys are starting to see the fruits of that labor and showing more paying more attention to those details are starting to pay off and you're being rewarded for that. Have you, as the locker room, noticed that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think now it's still fresh, but
Clan told you Dyson Daniels not better than DeJounte Murray. Not yet, but I think he is. I think he's by far a better defender, like far better defender. But when his shot comes together, he will be.
once we all watch that game again, we're gonna. I think it might be like
Daniels is ways better than Murray. I will say that. I think Daniels' best attribute is better than DeJounte Murray's best attributes.
one of the games where it felt the most like we played the right way, even though we had turnovers. It feels like we pressed where it hurt for them, and so I think this is definitely a step in the right direction.
Good job.
Same thoughts that we did. You see Chris clutching his arm. He's in obvious pain. Then he comes back in and hits the big three.
Of course I was worried, but then, it just hitting that three is the best. The best way to tell us he's fine.
Everyone said that he was like in crazy pain or whatever. I didn't see it as that. I've heard. I think Sean Elliott said it too, and I was like, I'm looking at him right now. It doesn't look like he's in immense pain. It looked like they just hit him in a funny spot. I don't know. That was weird.
You said you pressed him where it hurt. What was working for y'all? What was hurting them tonight?
I think the way we read their coverage was good, and having good spacing to leave space on the ISOs. It's I think.
Bro, you see the Knicks versus Timberwolves protesters ran on court. Can I stop this segment for a minute so I can go look at that real quick? Or were they protesting? Timberwolves. Here we go. Oh my. What happened? Some what girl? Some drunk girl?
Fan on the court. Whoa.
Dang. Well, she's not allowed back to a game. What happened? You said a protester? Is she a protester? The team was saying gets tackled. Was she a protester? Hold on, I'm gonna type in protester. You said idiots? Well, I guess it depends on what you're protesting. But I don't think it's a very efficient way. Cat looking down as the protester gets dragged off. What are they protesting? All right, if anyone knows what they were protesting, let us know, because I'm sure we're interested in that. I always wonder. Oh, snap! I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That's funny. Look at this. So that's them. Look at the security, bro. Hold on. Look at the security. Watch this. Look. Oh, that was clutch. Man, you cannot make it. Hold on, did they like give each other a look? Hold on, let's see. Oh, they just waited for him. Oh man, the first one made it. I have no idea what they're protesting. That's funny. They're protesting Wemby for WinVP. Well, see, that's a good thing. Protesting drone usage. That's not a bad thing to protest. Oh, there was another protest. That's 2022. What the heck is going on? Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, I personally don't think that's very super effective, but hey, to each his own. Those some really good seats they had.
It was a combination of things. There's not one answer.
She just found out you can save 15% or more on car insurance by switching to Geico. Oh, dude, I lose it every time too. If I found that out like during a basketball game, I'll probably be on the court too.
But the fact that we've adapted to the different types of defenses this is what I'm talking about.
You're growing up in France. Did you tune in for the Christmas Day games?
Yeah,
8 hours ahead, and then did you watch it through completion?
Not never live on Christmas for sure. Yeah. But there are some Christmas games I remember, of course.
What are your thoughts about being in that huge spotlight?
Yeah, I mean it's incredible. It's definitely the first time I'm gonna play on Christmas, even from before. And but yeah, I mean I'm super excited.
Victor, you have talked a big picture. Has your mental timeline as to where you guys are on this, progress-wise, has that changed in the last year? I know last year you spent a lot of time talking about the importance of being patient, thinking about the long term. But is that speeding up at all this year?
What?
I mean, it's always been. I would say it's always been fast. And yeah, we have to be patient. Can't skip steps, but at the same time, can't take too much time to take a step. So I like how it's going now. I like the fact that everybody's going into games expecting to win it. You know, we're not expecting anything else. So we're being held to some standards, and I think it's moving in the right direction for sure. But it doesn't mean it's gonna be easy or easy to see what to do.
So you talking about French, Maxime? You talking about Dyson Daniels? Keep in mind, Dyson Daniels is known for his playmaking as well, right? He's super young. The fact that you can even have this conversation is, I mean, it's a testament to how good he actually is, right? That you can even have a conversation on who's better, Daniels or DeJounte. I'll say this without a heartbeat. At this age, Dyson Daniels is leagues above where DeJounte was at this age. So. Okay, we're gonna skip that part. All right, that was good. That was really good. All right, not too shabby. All right, so before we talk about Mitch Johnson, we take a look at what Mitch Johnson had to say or has to say. Big shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this segment. This is the 24-25 NBA championship winners. If you wanted to bet on this, it looks like it's a little risky for some of these. Let's see. We got Oklahoma City Thunder. That might not be too bad of a one. $5 will give you about $20 if they were to win the championship. That's not too bad. So that might be a pretty easy one to throw out there. But if you guys are interested at all, head on over to BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150, 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. Just use promo code YouTube150. But yeah, so let's see here. That was pretty good. Mitch Johnson, where are you? Mitchy boy. My boy Mitch. Mitchy D. Mitchy J.
What'd you like out there, Coach?
I like that. I like that. I like that. The first question, what you like out there, Coach? I like that. No yes or no answers.
I thought we fought. I thought we had good energy. I thought the effort was great. I thought the low lights or the rough patches was more decision.
Wait, what? There was another question in English after the French part, by the way. Oh, crap. All right, give me a sec. Let's see.
Saison de rookie, et si t'avais un conseil à lui donner aussi, parce que t'es passé par là.
Je trouve que il est dans une situation. Du conseil à lui donner. Mais...
Sur lui, est-ce qu'il. Tu t'en fiches.
Je sais pas. Ça nous a réveillés, c'est une pique.
These teams from putting you in a box. Oh,
One more from Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
hey, Vic, you have talked a lot about just this whole everyday fight to keep these coaches, these teams from putting you in a box. And when you have a game like tonight where you're effective from multiple facets offensively and defensively, does that sort of validate what you've been saying all along?
So, you know, the fact that so that everyday fight you talk about, it's something that I've been through, of course, my growing up a lot, but now I'm experiencing levels of freedom that I've never really had the chance before to have, and it's for me it's also the clearest path into how to get better and how to get to the top level. So it's for me it makes sense that, you know, we see creativity on the court, and yeah, because I think it's actually the best way for me to have my team. So it's they're not putting me in a box, and I'm not going to either.
Thanks, Vic.
Thank you.
That's cool. That's cool. Hey, look, we got to live or die by those 3-pointers, apparently, which is fine for now. I think as the off season goes, you know, he'll have a few more go-to moves are very important, guys. It's still very important. The go-to move can't be a 3-point shot, because there's certain situations where he was obviously more comfortable in taking an outside 3-point shot, even if he had an open lane to the basket, and that can't be good. French question to Wemby were, what do you think of Zach rookie season? And any advice? Wemby, proud of him. He is healthy spot, which is not always the case. Very decent season. And then the second question was, any special motivation versus French players? And Wemby said, not really. Just want to do that every game. Okay. Well, I guess they were talking about we're talking about Zach Ricochet. Okay, gotcha. Huncho, don't argue with Beam. Beam just want to fight, by the way. Yeah, don't argue with Beam. I see y'all going back and forth. Don't argue with Beam. Beam just want to fight. You literally didn't say anything like that. Oh, here's another question. French question 3. About the dunk on your head. Dang. Did it bring extra motivation? Carolina asked that. He said, basically, yes, it happens. Block, dunked on ratio 4-1. All right. I'm over it now. Yeah, he just want to fight. Beam just want to fight. You didn't say anything that would even indicate that you wanted to argue about that. But I do agree with you. Dyson is a pretty good playmaker. Just got to get to that point where they need him for that. I mean, Trey, they literally have Trey Young, so. All right, let's see. Let's skip through where we were. I think we were around here.
the low lights or the rough patches was more decision based, not effort based, and we can live with some of that stuff. We had some new combinations and new lineups out there tonight, and that can be unique when you're almost a third way through the season. So we had to exhibit some patience, and I thought our effort carried us through some of those stretches.
Were those new lineups by design?
By health availability. So we just are getting into a rhythm with that stuff.
Looked like Chris was in some pain there before he hit that 3 in overtime. Did you guys know what was wrong with him? Was it just a stinger? Or?
I'm not sure. Something with his hand, I think. You just saw him kind of grabbing that hand. He needed a quick one, so we made a quick sub, but obviously he came back and finished the game.
That speak a little to either his toughness, both mental toughness and physical toughness, that he comes back in and hits basically the biggest shot of.
His footwork in the post is underrated and very hard to guard. Low-key hope that's go-to. Yeah, I just think he also just needs a little bit more strength. It's not like Wemby doesn't have solid fundamentals or anything. It's just that he's more comfortable taking an outside shot than going to those moves, which it might be a strength thing, you know, because he does get moved pretty easily.
The game, or the final shot of the game, at least.
Yeah, I'm sure, though, if you went back and tracked it, he's got a few of those.
That CP3 and Trey Jones lineup kind of questionable. I think it was pretty decent at some point of this season, you know. It'll be fine. Don't worry. Like I said, CP3 is actually, I would go to, maybe this is going to be crazy to say. I think CP3 and Trey Jones, although, you know, obviously they're small, I think both of them pretty underrated defenders. Obviously, Chris Paul being a better one than Trey, but.
But yes, I do agree.
Talk about Keldon's performance tonight, getting him back and having him play actually a decent amount of minutes in overtime too, for him to kind of make his way back and play a lot of time.
Yeah.
This question is from Clan. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I think he's the epitome of what I was saying earlier, just about the effort and energy. You know, I think there was a couple of decisions, a couple of plays he made, wanted back, but there's no substitute for that. And it's infectious, it's contagious.
Wait, what did he say?
And it makes the guy he made wanted back. Energy.
It's always that, though. It's always that. It's always plays that we will want back. The fact that he couldn't just straightforward just say, yeah, he's super important what we do. He has injury. Just leave it at that. The fact that he had to bring up, yeah, there's some mistakes there. I don't know. And it's not like Mitch Johnson hasn't critiqued Wemby before, but still.
I think there was a couple of decisions, a couple of plays he made.
A couple of decisions and a couple plays he made that he will want back. This is what I'm talking about, guys. And it's down the stretch. That's the biggest problem. If it's in the middle of a game, yeah, you can lose momentum here or there, but there's so many possessions in basketball that you can get on a run at any given moment. It's at the end of these games that bothers me. Too much playing time at the end of these games. And we stopped doing it for a while, so I don't know.
Wanted back, but there's no substitute for that. And it's infectious, it's contagious, and it makes the guy next to you want to get the job done.
That's true. I always said mentality-wise, Keldon's great.
Those different combinations. Devin back in the starting lineup, how do you think he looked alongside those guys for the first time this season?
I thought he looked good. I thought he had a good game. I thought he was solid. Yeah, it's just going to be something you need reps, right? That's the first time. It's pretty crazy. We've had the whole perimeter available for a game. And we didn't have it for camp either. So that's the first time those guys have started a game, a competitive game. And I thought they did a good job.
That's the lineup you would pop envisioned back in July, August, right? I mean, those 5 guys.
It wasn't a foregone conclusion, but I would say that was the house favorite at the casino for sure.
I say a chat question. Do your family dislike you for not being a Grizz fan? My family aren't Grizz fans.
We're 7 questions in. I haven't asked about the guy who scored 42. He just kind of took over from the minute you put him back in with about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Is that just becoming old hat for him to be able to do what he does in those crunch time situations?
I thought he imposed his will in a positive way tonight. you can see it physically just because of his sheer size when he's demonstrative, playing with conviction, where he is going to get the ball to the spots that he wants to get to, and nothing's going to stop him. And I think there was a couple times where he probably wanted a possession back where he didn't do that. And as he continues to show those possessions, I think the goal will be just to continue to string those and be more consistent in those areas. But he was tremendous when we needed him to be.
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe it was just a few times he just didn't see it.
I was about to ask, do you see him becoming more assertive in those moments? Like when he does have those opportunities to get inside or get to his spots, do you see him making like more of a concerted effort to get there?
I think so. You know, I think I'm doing a better job of...
I'm a year older than Mitch. Makes me feel old. Don't worry about age, man. Who cares? Doesn't really matter. Mitch Johnson's really young.
Putting him in spots, I think his teammates are doing a better job of spacing around him. I think he's a little stronger, better shape. You know, he had some off and on again stuff we've talked about all year. I think it's all starting to come together a little bit for him. And the cherry on top is when he does put the mentality on it, it's tough to stop.
You talked about you putting him in certain spots at the risk of trying to be too much of a coach here. Was that him at the free throw lines posting up in the high post? It looked like he did that more today than he has in a long time.
Yeah, they switched a lot too, and sometimes he'll go to just spots where there's space, right? I think that's where you have a player of his caliber. Anytime you can get them the ball in a spot, in space, you take that, and then the defense has to determine if they're gonna play him straight up or put two on the basketball. And he got to a couple of spots you just named, and I thought he did a really good job of being patient and deliberate and making the right decision more than not.
The possession near the end of overtime where Vic got on the floor to get the loose ball, we couldn't tell who called the timeout, like who got the timeout.
Wemby is starting to learn how to go for the kill more and more in these close games. He's going to be almost unstoppable in the clutch. I agree.
I have no idea either. Yeah, there's a lot of noise, and I'm just glad we got it.
From a leadership standpoint, you know, where have you seen Wembanyama come this season in the first overtime game of the year to kind of take over in that time?
Dang, this was the first overtime game of the year. Took a while.
He's exhibited traits of a leader before he got here, the way he's been brought up by his family and the way he conducts himself. He's somebody that you want people to emulate, and he's emulating older guys on the team that we want to emulate, and that's, again, credit to Brian Wright and the front office for continuing to acquire the right types of people.
By the way, Mitch Johnson's really coming to his own, but it's like it takes a village, right? Regardless of who ended up being coach after Popovich, it matters, but maybe not as much as it does for other teams. A lot of other teams, when they're looking for a new coach, they also need a change of culture, right? They need someone to come in, swoop in, and change the culture of the team, and start from ground zero sometimes. But that's not really the case with the Spurs, right? It's all already there. We have the groundwork of what it takes to win championships, what it takes to build a winning team. Everyone's on the same page. So as long as you have like a competent, good coach in there, the system will continue. The coaching system will continue. I think that's one thing that we should at least be optimistic for, you know. I know Popovich wants to come back. I personally think the Spurs should force him not to, because I just want him to be healthy and be okay. Like, that really worries me. If he does come back, obviously, like, yeah, we need Pop. Duh, we need Pop. But at the same time, I think going forward, you know, whoever is the coach, whether it's Mitch Johnson or another, you know, good coach, the Spurs will be fine. You know, Brian Wright stays winning. It's a culture, man. It's the culture that matters, I think, the most. We don't have to start from ground zero necessarily.
Hey, Coach, I'm sorry if you talked about this already, but Chris Paul struggled early on, but then fourth quarter overtime, he just, you know, comes through kind of, I guess probably like what maybe y'all expect.
Yeah. I think good players in this league have short memories, and it allows them to make big plays when you need them most, no matter what's happened prior.
Trae Young had 23 and 16, but could you talk about how difficult Jeremy made things for him to do.
He was tremendous. Someone who has the ball as much as he does and as talented as he is. I don't know how you don't stop him from getting stats or making plays. There wasn't a ton of times where it felt like he got loose or we had breakdowns and coverages or he was wide open.
Jeremy is that great of a defender. Do not underestimate how important Jeremy Sohan is to this team. Do not underestimate it. All right? Do not take it for granted. He is a pivot. Give him the same amount of love and attention that we give Devin Vassell, okay? If we think Devin Vassell is part of the future, Sohan is certainly part of the future. He undoubtedly. He's a big part of this team. Big part. And he fits totally fine. And if you think he doesn't fit with Wemby, please explain to me how he had 20 and Wemby had 42. If they don't play well together. And by the way, Sohan played the entire game, basically. 42 minutes. Good God.
He made great plays, and he's a great player. And unfortunately, we expected it. But I thought we made him work for it.
All right. Good job. By the way, Mitch Johnson's really coming into his own, man. This game in particular, he looked so comfortable. It might have only been like a couple games where I felt like he didn't feel comfortable, but he looked so comfortable in that coaching position. He looked so comfortable. He was clutch himself down the stretch. That timeout that he called at the end, beautiful. Chef's kiss. That was beautiful. Sohan also guards 1 through 4, sometimes the 5. Yeah, sometimes the 5. I mean, they had him at the 5 often in this game. And in modern NBA, a lot of times you don't have to worry about it too much. But yeah, he does a great job. Another thing that's underrated about him is athleticism. It's kind of crazy how athletic he is. I forgot about that timeout. Ooh, it was clutch. That was a really great timeout. He's really coming into his own, Mitch Johnson. I thought the same thing. Calling timeout was seriously clutch. It was clutch. Sohan mid. You're right. Everyone's wrong but you. Trae Young will have a nightmare in his sleep tonight. He got a VIP room of Polish prison. It was tough. There's always a troll. And it is what it is. All right. Ending segment. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this segment.